So thank you very much. From my side, again, welcome to IPEN 2017, the fifth one here in Vienna. And you know quite a lot about the University of Vienna, our Center on Computers and Law. I'll speak a bit more about Internet regulation, Internet security and privacy. And that's a different role I'm also having. I'm in the European Regional at-Large organization. That's the representation of Internet users in Europe within ICANN. And security and privacy is a topic there. And how strong we'll see. It's not handled equally. So security is a strong topic. Privacy is an emerging topic. That's it. When you see here, sorry, but there's a free, secure, stable internet. That's the aim of ICANN. They should do that. And as you know, there's a multi-stakeholder community now, and technicians play a very strong role. So they do the code, the protocol. And there's one strong aim that's clear. There's one internet and very divergent views about regulation. But still, on a technical regulation, it should be the same for China, for Brazil, America, Europe. And there's a security and stability advisory committee who is handling this issue. Quite strong role, one of the advisory committees. Doesn't mean that's only advisory, it's a strong policy development role and the implementation role. And from their side, it's mostly this public domain space they manage. I would like to keep it secure, safe, stable. That's the main aim. And they know there's a lot of crime happening there. But still, when to interfere and how to interfere, that's the main question. Yeah? And you will say it's a topic there, but still the main principle is network neutrality. We don't care if it's criminal or you. So you get the same treatment. And they have a vice president on security. It's Dave Pizzidello. He's also quite around, quite often. Maybe it's interesting also to speak. And that's what I say is also what he said here at Vienna last year. So with them you have this global identity space, as you know, and you have good people, bad people. And you know quite a lot about these bad people, how to handle this. And here's a bit of a list of about compromised hosts, spam, malware, and all this. I haven't to go into detail. But mostly they have domain names and they are maliciously registered. So they know that's for a bad purpose. And if you take it off the list, then it's great, yeah? Nothing can happen. Can you do that? Or can you block it? That's the main question. And therefore here it's now a bit developing. And what's going on now is this kind of cooperation environment. It's trusted cooperation. So if an exchange between all those who are doing it, and ICANN is involved, but mostly it's those who are doing network, internet, and information security. So if a quite similar discussion, also when it comes to the NIS directive, you need some kind of trusted network. You exchange information on all this, on these bad people, and then you do what you can do on mostly national law. So you don't deliver, you block. That's a quite safe measure, and it's coordinated. So if all are cooperating in this environment, you are quite successful. But when it comes to legal issues, then you must say it's problematic. And also when it comes to effectiveness, it's scale spoolies, it says. So not all are participating, some are outsiders, not are very small, very slow, not sufficiently quick when action is required. So it must be more, let's say, coordinated action that we will call in the law a legal regime. So and when it comes to particular privacy, as you know, there's a lot of very private data, or the personal data, and that's an exchange between these, actually very honorable people. They know there's an IP address, a domain name that may be suspicious. And you're never sure, but it's a suspicion there. Then there's another problem. You would like to keep the network trustworthy, so you don't tell every event to police, so you keep it in your circles. and therefore it's mostly you exchange more as you should. You don't have authority to share private personal data, and on the other side, it's then you don't go immediately to the police because you don't know or you don't like to start this very complicated procedure. And you see the same is going on when it comes to the implementation of the Network Information Security Directive. Also, they like to have some kind of exceptions to normal rules if they are in the public sector. So the next step would be, and what they're asking is an international legal regime, difficult to do. And therefore, and the aim would be that you are then legally allowed, after a certain international procedure, to block IP addresses, domain names, because they consider as malicious. That's the aim. And the possibility is to do it with more, follow what's going on in the United Nations. They have some discussions, but it will take a very long time. And the other would be to extend the European Cybercrime Convention to make it more global and also extend this kind of cooperation framework. That's a bit the idea what's going on. When you come to you see that's in security, there's much more happening. When it comes to privacy, there's also something happening. It's a bit emerging. The problem is, as you know, when you have a domain name, your data, also address, private address, is shared worldwide. That's not considered as acceptable to many. There's one exception that it works. You have this kind of, they call it the privacy and proxy policy. So you happen to be registered yourself, can be someone else, and it can be done legally. There are special providers, or you just do it. So that the data is not very accurate. It's about, let's say, 20% is proxy information or inaccurate information because it goes on very quick. And therefore, the IPEN is working on that. At the moment, there's a consultation going on what to do this kind of procedure for handling who is conflicts with privacy law. And it means that registrars have to ask for an exception not to handle over data to this who is, and also not keeping it for more than about 2 years or so, just deleting it when it's not required anymore. So this is going on, and there's a statement from Uralo and also at large saying we would like to have a block exemption. So if you have this kind of, if you're in Europe, you don't have to handle this data. So you have no address information, no private telephone number is required. It's only maybe at the proxy, that's all. So that's, but it takes some time. And as you also know, as technicians, changing all these databases is very difficult, and so it's very, very slow. And there's also on the other side the law enforcement people. They say the data is not good enough, so it should be more accurate, up to date. And also they're developing now a new policy on sharing this data. And they have now about 100 cases where data can be shared or not. And it's an ongoing discussion. And they call it a policy development process in ICANN. And it's called, typically difficult to understand, Next Generation GLT, Registration Directed Service to replace WHOIS. Sorry, there's a O missing. So you see, that's the ICANN policies, but they're doing it, and it's a bit going on. So it would take some years, and you are invited to participate. And when it comes to privacy, that's even, let's say, there's no discussion going on, so there's no. And you see there are public meetings, 3 a year. This last was in Copenhagen, and there was one afternoon on privacy issues. So there was also the Council of Europe and also Data Protection Commissioners there saying what we can do. And there will be another session on GDPR in Johannesburg in the next meeting. So it's an issue there, but not at the same level, because when it comes to security, great, but when it comes to privacy, that's a European topic. And you can also see there's not a strong will to have a global regime on that. It's mostly then that Europe has to develop good practices, and then in the very end, say to other countries, why not do the same, form some kind of a cooperation environment. It's then not only GDPR, EU, but also maybe Council of Europe and other countries working in the same infrastructure. So that's a bit what I'd like to say, a quite actually very complicated one, particularly when you say we have technical relation, the internet should work, and on the other hand you have some kind of side issues, and that's this kind of privacy issues, which just try to avoid all kind of misuses that are emerging. So quite interesting discussion, and hopefully it was quite interesting for you. Thank you very much.